Welcome to the award-winning Texas Toast Podcast, your podcast home for all things Texas country. Kick back and enjoy as we toast the best in Texas country. Hey everyone, welcoming to the podcast this week is Robert Sullivan with Westbound Hearts. Y'all are based in Odessa, and y'all just recently released a song to streaming called Texas Does that was produced by Trent Willmon, and I noticed that he was also the songwriter on it. So let's just jump in and talk about Texas Does to kick off this interview with y'all have so much stuff going on, but tell me all about that song and how it came about.
Yeah, so I've been first off again, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. And so a little while ago, we were releasing, we released some music and everything. We've it's all been kind of in house and stuff, um and someone who I'm a real big fan of is Trent. I've always been a fan of Trent. I'm a fan of just everyone he produces, like everything he writes, like even his own music and stuff. Like, just always been such a big fan of Trent. He's also a West Texas guy, so I mean he's always been one of those guys I've always really wanted to work with. And so we released a song called Can't Get Enough of You. It was our previous release. And I was like, all right, like, let's just shoot for the stars here a little bit. I want to work with Trent on our next song. And so we sent Trent an email and just kind of a long shot and didn't hear anything back for about a week, sent another email. Then all of a sudden he said, he sent an email back and was just like, I really like your voice. I like what y'all got going on. Would you like to come to Nashville and record a song? And I was like, absolutely.
Yes,
And
yes.
so, yeah. And so from being from West Texas, it's a big songwriting culture. Uh, so a lot of, sometimes people could frown on doing songs other people have written and stuff. It's a little weird and a little clicks and everything. They talk a little weird with it. And so I was always kind of conflicted. Like, I don't know because I've never recorded someone else's song before. And me and Trent, we actually hopped on a FaceTime and we co-wrote another song called Something to You that we might be releasing later this year. And he was like, Robert, I got this song. I've had it since 2016. So this song, it was written in 2016. He was like, would you just give it a listen and see if you like it? And I said, of course. So he sent it over and I just fell in love with it. I love the story of the song. I love just the arrangement, just everything about it. I was like, I love this song. I want my voice on the song. I want my guys on it. How can we get this done? And so a few months passed by, and I think December 16th is whenever I went to Nashville and got to go stay out on his property, and we put that song together. And man, I'm just so proud of that song. I love it, and it's real cool. So that's kind of how that all came about, just shooting out an email and stuff. And he took a chance on me, which I feel very grateful for, and
Oh,
got to go out to Nashville and record a song. It was pretty cool.
yes, and Trent Willmon he's awesome. He is so awesome. I mean, it's like that's just a great story. I'm so happy that it all came together for you. But you also songwrite as well.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, because I noticed I went back and listened to your music. Y'all do have a debut EP that's out and it's on streaming that you did a few years back, well, a couple years back, and it was really good. I really liked I'd Rather Sleep Alone. That one caught me, and then what was the other one? Devil in Disguise.
Yeah, yep. Devil in
Yes, I
Disguise.
mean there was those were three good songs on there. So it's not like you're just coming along with Texas Does, but I mean like you've been doing some music, and I know my initial contact was with your dad Jason, and I understand he's a drummer.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, he's my drummer. He used to drum back in the day and all that stuff, and he kind of musically retired. And I'm his son, so I was like, Dad, I need a drummer. And he's like, okay, I'll come out and I'll help you out with the recordings. And when I talked to Mom talked him into drumming with me on stage, and so we've just been going ever since. So
Oh, I love that. Love that. So let's talk about the band Westbound Hearts, and y'all are based in Odessa, Texas. How long has the band been together, and who all? I know we just discussed your dad, but tell me about the band and who's in the band.
yeah, so we've been going for just over a year now. We released our EP a few Octobers ago and stuff, but we weren't really out playing. We just released it and we played like one show, it was like a one-off show thing at a fair. Like, it wasn't really a show yet. We weren't fully a band. It was just some, brought together guys, but we were a band in the studio. We were kind of like just a studio band. And then February last year, we just had an opportunity. Stony LaRue was coming in town, playing at a place called the Ector Theater, and we had that one EP out, and I was like, well, again, shoot for the stars, I guess. So let's see. We haven't played any shows yet, so we sent out some emails and stuff, and they liked "I'd Rather Sleep Alone." That was the song that got us that gig, And so Stoney's people were like, "Yeah, y'all come on out and come open up for us." And I was just like, "All right, cool." So it was a pretty cool like first. That was our first official full band, like same group guys, like show. That was the first one. And so on lead guitar we have a guy named Mike Camden, and Mike Camden is the sweetest. I hope you get to meet him. He is one of the coolest guys you'll ever meet. We call him a garden gnome because he's just this little guy, big old beard, a lot of hair, and
Oh,
can
wow.
absolutely just kill it on guitar. And he's just the sweetest human being. And he's the funny story about him is it's kind of with my dad. He's a rocker. He's never played really in a country band before, and it's always been rock. It's been like Dio, Megadeth, all this stuff. And Mike is such a great guy, and he really believed in the music. And he's actually the guy who's on the first EP. He recorded "I'd Rather Sleep Alone," all that stuff, and he liked it. He just liked what we had going on, so he's like, "Yeah, I'll join up with y'all." He's like, "I don't really do country, but we'll see what happens." And
Nice.
so we have him on guitar, and then on bass we have a guy named Joe Baker. Um, he's actually a guy we just brought in. Our previous bass player, his name's Diego Salgado. He's a real cool guy. He was in the Odessa area. He was the first other musician that didn't like ghost me when I was first starting out. I didn't have any gigs. I was just starting out. And, so his name is Diego Salgado. He's a real good friend of mine. But he's a firefighter. He just had a baby, and we have a pretty aggressively growing schedule, and so he couldn't really keep up with it. So we just switched over to a new guy named Joe Baker, who, funny enough, is also an old school rocker like my dad, and they
Oh,
actually used to
wow.
play together. Yeah, they used to play together in my dad's band called Seventh Rise in like the early 2000s, and so it's kind of funny. I kind of have my dad's old band with me, and I love it because I grew up on rock and country, and so we kind of have a real cool combination. So it's cool. A lot of people, especially like in the newer age, I'll talk to some of my friends, and they're like, "Man, you got to play with young guys. If you're 23 years old, you got to go play with 23-year-olds. Like for the stage looks or whatever." And I've always gotten along better with the older guys. Like I've
Oh,
just
yeah.
always been one of those people. And I think just growing up, in the I'd go to my dad's band rehearsals, and I'd sit in the corner of the room, and I would just be surrounded by all these just veterans of the scene. And so I've always connected with older musicians and everything. I've just always fit in a little bit more. And so I feel incredibly blessed to have three old school rockers that are drinking coffee before we go on stage and smoking a cigarette. And
I
then when
love
it's time
it.
to
Oh,
play it,
my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah, we go up. So we got a good group of guys right now. It's a whole lot of fun, and I feel very blessed of the group we have.
Well, looking at your schedule, y'all are playing some awesome venues. I saw you just played Rhinestone, which I love Rhinestone. That is one of my favorite
Oh
places.
yes.
You've
Yep.
got Do Do, the Big Barn coming up in Houston area, Hoots Hall, Camp Margaritaville. Y'all are hitting some venues. Your booking is going great.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, it's so weird because I have dreamed of playing these places, and we've been a band for just a little over a year. We didn't blow up on TikTok or none of that stuff, and
Right.
so I really didn't believe that we'd be getting to play these really cool spots within such a short amount of time. I mean, it's been a whole lot of work, and my dad Jason, with his efforts, and our booking agent Jimmy Dasher. Um, I mean, it's been, almost every day we're getting new bookings, and each day something comes in, and I'm like, well, that's the coolest thing we're going to do all year. And then tomorrow something else will come in, and
Oh,
I'm like, well,
wow.
okay, I got good.
Oh,
So it's
wow. Living the LTD, living the dream. It's happening and just
yes,
coming
ma'am.
together. That's awesome.
It's cool. Like we got to make in January, we got to make our Green Hall main stage debut on a Thursday night. We got to go headline the main stage. We're a couple nobodies, but they let us go headline that main stage for a free show. And uh, I was just on the side stage, and I was just praying and thanking the good Lord because I just got overcome with so much emotion because I was like, man, there's 20 people out there, but I'm about to go step on this legendary stage for a headline, and we just started this band, and it's so incredibly cool, and I feel so lucky and so blessed to have the schedule we've already had, and the schedule coming up. I mean, it's been so cool, and honestly, and I'm sorry if I'm going off on a tangent with it, but it really is a big shout out to our booking agent Jimmy Dasher. I mean, he's being a new band, a lot of booking agents aren't going to take a chance on you. They want you to have a lot more to you, so they can make more money and stuff, because it's a business. And Jimmy Dasher, he's actually, how we got connected with him was he's the booking agent for Doug Stone. And I was gonna go open a show for Doug Stone in Dallas, and Jimmy listened to our stuff. He's like, "Man, I like y'all. Do y'all have a booking agent?" And we're like, "No one will talk to us, like, so we're not playing enough shows." And he said, "You know what, man? I really like y'all." And through talking on the phone, we built a really cool friendship with him, and so he's just believed in us since the start, and he's been working his butt off. And um, my dad as well. I mean, my dad could sell ice to an Eskimo. I mean, he's just one of those guys. And so their combined efforts, it's just created this really cool schedule and all these really cool opportunities that I feel so incredibly lucky and blessed to get to go play. And so now the hope is that we can go make good of these opportunities and not go suck on stage. It's like,
I
but
am just so excited for y'all. And I love the story. I love the story of how this has all come together. And I can't wait to see where it's going. I know there's great things ahead of you. So let's go back to Texas Does. Now, let me ask you
mhm.
this. Do you plan on releasing that to radio?
So we're in talks with it right now. That whole side of it's really new to me.
Yes.
So we're trying to kind of trying to navigate what to do. I mean, there's like some radio promoters that have reached out to us saying, "Hey, we can do this," but like I'm so blank when it comes to that. So we've kind of just been feeling it out right now. But I definitely want it to go out to radio, and because
Good.
our there's a station here I grew up listening to. It's called Kicks 99.1, and it's just we sent it in, and they played it as a spotlight
I'm
song. It was the
telling you,
first pick of the week. Yeah.
it's a no-brainer because I mean, in our Texas country industry, we have our own Texas country red dirt
Mhm.
charts and all of that. It's a no-brainer. It's an automatic ad because I also have Texas Toast Internet Radio, so it's an automatic ad for me. Like that's why I was asking because like I want to get it on because it's so good,
Yes,
and I know
please.
that
Oh, I love that.
my fellow radio people are going to love it also. Yes, so I just had to ask that burning question.
Yeah, no, we would love to. And I was like, whenever we finally got our first radio spin on Kiss 991, I was freaking out. I was in the
I
truck
bet you
listening to it
were.
for
Oh my
I
gosh,
was
that's so
recording it.
exciting.
I was like, this is so cool. I was like, I would love to push it out more on the radio and stuff. I just am so blank when it comes to that side of things. So it's kind of a learning process every day, just trying to learn as much as I can about it. But absolutely, we're trying to push it out everywhere. We want everyone to hear Texas Does. So
Oh yes,
definitely pushing it
everyone
out.
must hear that one. And I think it'll be fine. And it's like don't let that whole radio thing intimidate you too much. We're very nice people in radio. And there's some really good Texas country radio promoters out there as well. I'm sure you'll be able to get through that process, but I would look forward to that as well. So now what do you do? I'm sure you still have a job and have to work full time.
So actually, about a year and some change, just about the time we started, yeah, just about the time we started up doing Westbound Hearts full band shows. So I've been doing solo acoustic shows for a while now, for a few years, and not too long. I've been doing it for just a couple of years, but going out just playing the restaurant gigs and just the solo acoustic
Yes,
gigs.
yes.
And so through doing that, I've created a lot of good relationships, and I guess they like me enough where I kind of have a regular schedule now. So I was able to basically switch doing music full time, solo acoustic.
Oh,
So I've been doing
wonderful.
that. Yeah, so I've been doing that for about a year now, a little over a year. Before that, I was actually a personal trainer for 3 years. That was my thing. I did personal training, and I know it's West Texas. Most people go to the oil field. I tried the oil field one day, it didn't last. So I
Oh
said,
my goodness.
some people just aren't built for it. I have no pride. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, this ain't for me. I'm gonna go teach people how to get on a treadmill, I guess. And so I was doing that, and I was starting to kind of fall out of love with personal training. And I love music. It was just every day I'm just thinking about music. I want to play music, and I found out that you can make money playing music sometimes. So I was like, well, if I do this enough, I can, I'll make more doing solo acoustic playing and stuff and full band shows than I would personal training. And so for about a year, I've been doing a little over a year now. I've been doing solo acoustic and full band shows. So I've just been doing music full time. So it's just been playing a whole bunch.
Wow. Wow. Well, congratulations on that. That's
Thank you.
awesome. That is awesome. And so then I saw also now you played hockey.
Yes, ma'am.
You're a hockey player. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so being from West Texas, when you tell people to play hockey, they're like, "There's ice out there." I'm like, "Yeah, I knew a guy with a really big freezer, so we just figured it out." Um, but yeah, it's cool. We have a team here in Odessa called the Odessa Jackalopes, and I just my younger brother actually was the one who would go to the games, and my younger brother was way cooler than me, so I would just kind
Oh
of
my
tag along with
gosh.
him. Like he's just way cooler, and so I would tag along with him to these hockey games because I hated hockey at the start, and I was like, man, that looks kind of cool, you know. And I played goalie, and I was locked in on the goalies. I thought the equipment looked cool, and I love that. Basically, almost the entire game depended on what this guy did. You know, it's like how good is this guy? And I've always loved pressure like that. And so when I was about 13, I begged my parents to buy me some skates, and they finally did. And I went out and got some skating lessons, and busted my butt and sprained my ankle and everything trying to just learn how to skate. And finally, just one day it clicked, and I was like, man, I want to be a goalie. And but goalie equipment is so aggressively expensive. It's but that's we want to talk about problems. We got to talk about the goalie equipment prices these days. All right, it's insane.
Really?
It's aggressive. It's aggressive. I mean, it keeps you safe. But so my parents, I come from a, just a your working class family. They're not going to go spend 3 grand on equipment for a sport that their son just now wants to play. And so they were like, okay, if you go play 1 year as a forward, just as a player, the guy's shooting and stuff. And if you like it, we'll buy you goal equipment after that. And if you're good, if you can actually, you can do something. So I worked my butt off for a whole year and just doing everything I could, getting as good as I could and loving the sport, falling in love with it. And at the end of that year, my parents were like, okay, you did it. So they ordered me some goalie equipment. That next week, I went out for a skate and took a puck right to the goods and found out real quick that being goalie kind of hurts. But I just fell in love with it. I was so terrible at the start, like most people, so god awful. It was to the point where the team didn't want me on the ice because I would go on the ice with this team just to go get like I would basically sit in the corner and just try to work on how to be a goalie. And this team got so mad at me for always being out there because I was so bad. And but I fell in love with it. I just couldn't stop doing it, and it just this obsession. I'm a very tunnel vision person. When I do something, it's that. And so I worked my butt off, and within 9 months, that next season rolled around, and that team I would go on the ice and practice with, I actually took the starting job for the goalie, just because I got good out of nowhere, and well, good for West Texas standard. I wasn't in the NHL or nothing, but so just yeah, played that for a couple of years, and after high school, there's the league above high school is called junior hockey. It's like below college, and went out went out after high school, tried out for a few teams, didn't make a few teams, and so dreams got crushed, and thought that was kind of it. And there was a team out of Euless, Texas, that basically said, "Hey, we need a goalie. You want to come try out?" And I said, "Of course." I was done at this point for about a year. Didn't skate, and then went out and made the team off this tryout, and did that for a few months. Actually, got to play on a team with my little brother. He played out in Euless, and I was about halfway through that season, and at that time, I just started playing music. This is whenever I was kind of taking it serious, and um, I was just at practice one day, and I was just like, man, I like music a little bit more, and I'm not able to do music because hockey was taking up all my time. And I
Oh.
love hockey to this day. I love it so much. It really is just a big love of mine. But I love music just a little bit more. And I was like, okay, so I hung the skates up and came home, and then that very next week I played my first gig and made $100 playing guitar. And I was like, all right, I'm doing this. I was like, this is this is better than getting hit in the face with pucks. It's a little bit better. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, it was
Absolutely.
cool. It was a cool journey, and every now and then I'll go out and skate with my friends when they're back from college. And hockey's always something that's just gonna be a part of me, and I love. And it was real cool. It was a really cool moment in my life and cool thing to learn.
Yeah, well, that's good that we know that side of you also. You're a very determined person and how you have a very strong work ethic, I can tell.
Yeah, I get after it. So very very tunnel vision. If I'm doing something, I'm getting at. Nothing else matters. I'm going after that. So
Same, same. I gotcha. I gotcha. So looking into the future for this year, as far as the band goes, will there be some are y'all working on some new music that will be coming up to follow up what Texas does?
Yeah, so it's really exciting. Here in a couple months, actually, I'm gonna be going back out to Nashville and recording with Trent. Trent said he'd love to do a second song, and I'm like, of course, I'd love to do a second song. And
Yay!
so, yeah, really excited about that. We're getting the details together right now, and this next song, as long as we're going with the one, because sometimes it can switch. But right now, the plan is we're doing this song called "Something to You," and it'll be one that I actually have I co-wrote with Trent and stuff, and so I'm really excited about that. So we're kind of going to let Texas Does air out a little bit, kind of really push it because we really believe in it. But yeah, we're going to be getting back here in a few months, be going back out and recording some new music, hopefully releasing it towards the end of the summer, just around there. But so it'll be a little bit long in today's standard of releases. But yeah, so we definitely have some plans to get back in the studio.
Well, I'm excited. I'm so happy that we got to have this visit and I got to get to know you. And of course, our listeners can get to know the band a little bit more. Y'all have a nice website, westboundhearts.com. Everyone can go find it there. And then on all the streaming, you can go get Texas Does. Look up Westbound Hearts.
Westbound Hearts, Texas Does. It just don't get better than that right there.
It doesn't. Absolutely. It doesn't. So, Robert, thank you so much for coming on and visiting with me. And we will be staying in touch and I'll be following along. And I just cannot wait to see everything that happens for y'all.
Really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Miss Helen. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Texas Toast Podcast. And now, big news. If you're a lover of Texas country red dirt music, you can now go listen to our station, Texas Toast Radio. Log on to TexasToastRadio.com to hear a mix of all your Texas country favorites.